Oh, okay. Hi, welcome back. Today I was actually planning on filming a sit-down video, and when I finished getting ready I realized that my battery for my other camera wasn't charged, so I'm doing this instead while I wait for that battery to charge. Today we're going to be doing another one of those try a chapter, unhaul things. I have not yet picked out the books for this try a chapter tag. I thought it would be really fun if I went on Goodreads and I picked the lowest rated books on my TBR shelf and read a chapter from each of those. I have both of the animals in here with me today, so that should be fun. So yeah, I'm gonna just go on Goodreads. I'm gonna try to do the screen record thing. I'm gonna go on Goodreads and we're gonna find out together live right now what books I'm gonna be reading for this try a chapter tag. All right, so I'm going to open Goodreads and go to books, own, unread. Almost pretty much everything I own that I haven't read should be on the shelf. So if there's anything that I haven't added, that's just not going to be included in this video, obviously. So I'm going to go to sort by average rating and reverse it. Okay, the first book on here is a nonfiction book, The Art of Sleeping Alone, which is not something I'm totally excited about reading, but okay. And then we have The Dinner by Herman Koch, which I got for Christmas a couple of years ago and still haven't read, obviously. That Inevitable Victorian Thing by E.K. Johnston. I'm surprised this is one of my lowest rated books. I thought this book was fairly popular. I don't know much about that one. I think it's like an alternate history story. And California by Eden Lepucki. I actually just got this book not that long ago. I haven't even attempted to read it, so that should be interesting. I don't know how many of these I should do. Also, should I have been grabbing these? Smoke by Dan Valletta. I'm not surprised that that one's on there because it's one of those books that I feel is mostly disliked, honestly. And let's see, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know how many I'm gonna do because I don't know how long this camera battery is gonna stay charged. Let's just grab like 5 or 6 or 7. The Graces by Laura Eve. I actually had that on my TBR for July. Why did I just said July. It is October. I had this on my TBR for October. And The Accidental by Ali Smith. Okay, I'm gonna go grab all of those books now and we're gonna get this tag started. Okay, I grabbed the first 7 and I figure I will just read them in order from lowest to highest of the lowest here. And I'm gonna keep Goodreads open as a reference so I can like refer back to like the average rating and all that. You all know how this video goes by now. I am gonna read the first chapter or first little bit of each of these books and I'm gonna decide if I'm still interested in it, if I want to keep it, if I want to read it at some point. And anything I'm not interested in anymore, I'm gonna unhaul. All right, so the first book I've got here is actually a pretty short one. It is The Art of Sleeping Alone by Sophie Fontanelle. This is a memoir and the tagline, the alternate title, the subtitle, that's the word I'm looking for, is Why One French Woman Suddenly Gave Up Sex. On Goodreads, this book has a 2.73 rating, which is the worst rating I think I've ever seen on Goodreads. I mean, I'm sure it's not the worst rating that's on Goodreads, but of all the books that I've ever seen on Goodreads, 2.73 is pretty low. So let's find out if I also feel that way. Okay, the first part is like a little prologue and then the actual first chapter is just 2 pages. So I'm gonna read like the first like 6 pages or so. So I just read like the first 6 or 7 pages of this. It was the prologue and the like first little chapter. I don't know about this one. So I was going back and I read the premise, and basically this is about a journalist and fashion blogger who felt like she had it all, a great job, lots of dates, lots of parties to go to, plenty of clothes, all that stuff, but she wasn't happy. And so she decided to give up sex to rediscover herself. I was kind of hoping that the first little bit would maybe explain why she decided to do this and why, like what prompted it. And there is like maybe a tiny bit of like the prompting, but there's not a lot of the motivation. It's not like terribly written. This was originally written in French and was translated to English. Hi. I can't decide if I'm interested in this or not. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep this for now. Next month is Nonfiction November, and if I don't read it at some point in November, then I'm gonna unhaul it, because I think that's a safe bet. A safe choice. Okay, the next one is The Dinner by Herman Koch, and I do know a little bit about this one. This is about two couples who go to dinner, and at dinner they are discussing what to do about their children. Something has happened. Their sons, I believe, have been involved in something, and they are trying to figure out how to go about fixing it, I think. This was originally written in Dutch, I believe, and has been translated to English. This book on Goodreads has an average of 3.22 rating. I feel like this is a book that a lot of people might not like, but might be totally my thing. So let's find out. The first chapter is 1 page. Okay, so like I said, the first chapter is 1 page, and I was gonna read the second chapter, but it is a bit longer. The writing is great. The first chapter gave me literally nothing about the story, except for that they're making a reservation to this restaurant, and it's a hard restaurant to get into. I'm still intrigued by it. I'm not gonna unhaul this. I should go ahead and probably read more of it just to really get a sense of it, but I'm not gonna unhaul it. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it at some point. Next up, we have a YA book. This is That Inevitable Victorian, just hit myself. That Inevitable Victorian Thing by E.K. Johnston. This one on Goodreads also has a 3.22 average rating. I don't know exactly what it's about. I think it's like a alternate history type of thing, like something specifically happened in history, something maybe with Queen Victoria. Set in a near future world where the British Empire never fell, a surprising, romantic, and thought-provoking story of love, duty, and the small moments that change people and the world. Let's find out if this is going to change the world. The first chapter is, well, it's a prologue, is 10 pages. And there's like some mixed media in here. It opens with like a Wikipedia page. Like I said, is an alternate history story about the British Empire, and it's set in the near future. The story is told from a couple of different perspectives, or at least the prologue was told from a couple of different perspectives, and I think maybe those perspectives will be who we read from throughout the book. I don't know that the prologue, that this beginning bit, really gave me a lot of details about the world or the story. I just got introduced to like 4 different characters. I'm still intrigued to read it, but I don't know what it's about at all, so I don't really know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna unhaul this one. I'm gonna keep it, but I'm gonna have to read it soon, because I don't know, I think it could go either way. Just based on the prologue and the fact that I know literally nothing about the story, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. So I'm gonna keep it for now, but I need to read it soon. Next is California by Eden Lepucki. This one on Goodreads has an average rating of 3.23. This is a post-apocalyptic story about 2 people. I believe the woman is pregnant and something has happened in the United States, and they are fleeing to the wilderness, and they're gonna try to figure out how to have and raise their child off the grid, basically. The first chapter is 31 pages, so I'm gonna just read until the first little section break, which is on page 8. The first like 8 pages of this, and essentially the story picks up several years into the apocalypse, and we are introduced to one of the main characters, Frida, and she realizes that she might be pregnant. It's not, you know, obviously it's not a lot compared to like the length of the book. The first 8 pages isn't much, but basically it was just about them leaving LA and moving into the wilderness, and like which possessions they decided to keep, and she has a couple of things that are secret to her and her husband doesn't know about them. And that's basically all that happened so far. But I'm super intrigued by this. I really like the writing style. I just bought this book, so I wasn't going to unhaul it at all. But it's nice to have gotten a little bit of a taste of the story. And this is definitely one that I'll try to get to soon, because I think that I could really like it. So there's that. Next up is Smoke by Dan Valletta, and this one has an average rating of 3.26. This is, I believe, like a sci-fi dystopian story maybe. It's like an alternate England, I think. When people sin, smoke is emitted from them. The first chapter is like 12 pages, but it's like, they're big pages and their text is tiny. I probably won't read the whole first chapter. I'll probably just read the first few pages until there's like a section break. Okay, so I read like the first 5 or 6 pages, and I don't feel like the beginning really gives enough of the story away to understand what's going on. But essentially it's set in this boarding school, and it's a bunch of guys, and there's this one guy, and he's kind of the leader, and he's also like a huge bully. I really do want to read it. I really do want to see what this book is all about, so I don't want to unhaul it. I can't say that the first bit really compels me to want to keep reading, but in my brain, I know that I'm interested enough in the story that I want to at least give it a little bit more of a chance. So I'm going to keep it for now, but another one I'm going to try to read soon, or at least try to pick up and get a little bit further into and just get a better feel for the story, because I think this is another one that could go either way for me. All right, so I read the first 5 books in this, but my camera battery's flashing, so I'm going to go charge my battery for a little bit, probably film some other videos, and then come back and read a few more books for this, and then we'll call it good. And we're back. I went and watched TV for an hour while I waited for my camera batteries to charge, and I wiped my lipstick off because it was making my lips feel really dry and I didn't like it. So I just put regular chapstick on. We're carrying on with the video. So while I was watching TV, I was actually thinking about the books that I'd already read for this video and kind of processing a little bit more what I thought about them. And I decided that these 2 books, The Art of Sleeping Alone and Smoke, why keep them? I don't know that I'm that interested in them anymore. I don't know. Just, I was sitting there watching TV and I was like, do I really care that much about why someone gave up sex for a year? And also, if this is the lowest rated book on my TBR, plenty of other people found it disappointing or found something wrong with it, and I don't know that I want to put myself through that. So despite the fact that it's short, I could probably finish it in like a day. I'm getting rid of this one. I am interested in this book, but I don't know that I am that interested in it that I want to keep it. Like, I've owned this book for like 4 years. I bought this book when one of the bookstores in the town I live in was going out of business, and they were doing this huge sale, and I got this for like way discounted, like 70% off or something. And in that time, like since then, that was three or 4 years ago at least, I've never felt compelled to pick it up one time. So I'm getting rid of it. So these 2 books are going on the unhaul pile. And now let's carry on with the next book on my stack. This is also a relatively new purchase, so again, I probably won't be getting rid of this, but at least I'll get an idea of what the story is about. This is The Graces by Laura Eve, who I believe is a UK YA author, but I could be wrong. And the average rating for this one on Goodreads is 3.29. So really, it's not that bad. I mean, none of these ratings are that bad except for the one like that was below a 3. But I'm interested to read this. I love this cover so much. It's one of my favorite book covers that I've bought in the last year. So I really hope I like the contents of the book as much as I like the cover. Oh, I think this is about witches. I really don't know that much about this one. Okay, the first chapter is 3 pages, and the very first sentence is, everyone said they were witches. So, yep, I'm gonna guess it's about witches. So this is about a girl named River. She desperately wants to be friends with the Graces, who are a family of supposed witches. There are 3 of them, twins that are a little bit older than her, and then one that is her age. And the first chapter is just her talking about coming in contact with them for the first time, moving to the school that they're going to and learning of them and about them. So it feels already a little bit Manic Pixie Dream Family almost. Like, not Manic Pixie Dream Girl because it's 3 people, Manic Pixie Dream Family. But I'm not hating it. I actually kind of like the idea of the story, and I'm very intrigued by it. I think I might try to read this before the end of the month. I say that all the time, but this really already was on my October TBR, so I'd love to actually read it. I think that's gonna be good. It's like a little bit different than the things I normally read. I don't read a ton of witchy books, but I'm super intrigued by it. And the last book here is The Accidental by Ali Smith, who is an author that I've never read before, despite owning several of her books. This I know literally 0 things about. I'm not even gonna read the synopsis. I'm just gonna jump in. The average rating for this one on Goodreads is a 3.33. which isn't too bad. Okay, the first chapter is pretty long, but there is a little prologue, so I'm gonna read that. Okay, I read the first bit and now I have to read the synopsis because I'm very confused. So this book is about a family, and one day a woman shows up on their doorstep and just insinuates herself into their lives, and I guess things are gonna happen from there. The prologue is told, I think, from the woman who shows up's point of view, and it's all about her parents conceiving her. It's very interesting. I don't know that I got enough from the story to say exactly how I'm gonna feel about it, but I can tell you that after reading the prologue and then going back and reading the synopsis, I'm still super interested in this book. It's not gonna be like the other one where I think on it for a few days and I unhaul it. No, I actually think I'm gonna read this. There's something unique about this writing style that I want to explore further, and I know that that is something that Ali Smith is pretty well known for, is her writing style being different and a little bit quirky. So I'm excited to finally read something by her and get a sense of her writing. So I ended up reading 7 books in the course of this video, and 5 of them I am going to keep. The Dinner, That Inevitable Victorian Thing, California, The Graces, and The Accidental are all going back on the shelf because I'm still interested enough to continue on with them. After some reflection, Smoke and The Art of Sleeping Alone are going in the unhaul pile because I'm no longer interested in them and I don't care to keep them on my shelf. This is a short book, this is a long book, but I felt equally meh about both of them. So get out of here. So that is it for this installment of Try a Chapter Tag Unhaul Edition. This is one of my favorite things to do. I really love just sitting here trying the chapters of some books and seeing how I'm gonna feel about the possibility of the story, and I think I'm just gonna keep doing these every couple months. I think it's just fun to sit here and actually give a try to some of the books that have been on my shelf for so freaking long. And I also like that I've been doing a little bit different every time. Like the first time I picked some of the oldest books on my TBR, and then the next time I just picked some random books that had been calling to me, and this time I picked the lowest rated books on my physical TBR. I'm excited about doing more of these in the future. I really hope that you like them. I just think they're tons of fun, and they really remind me of some of the books that are on my shelves and some of the books that I need to make an effort to get to sooner rather than later, because you never know. If I don't read all of these books soon, they could show up in another future Try a Chapter unhaul, and I will have completely forgotten that I put them in this one. That's true for all of the editions of this video, because I don't know that I've read any of the books that I've talked about in any of the Try a Chapter unhaul tags yet. So maybe I need to make that a video sometime. I need to just read the books that I tried a chapter of and see how I'm gonna feel about the overall story. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent now, and I need to wrap this video up, and I actually need to go film some other stuff. So that is it for this video. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any of the books that I mentioned or showed off in this video. I'd really love to know what your thoughts and opinions are on some of these, specifically the 5 that I have decided to keep. Which of these do I need to make an effort to get to as soon as possible? I would really love to know. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!